get some more. A raucous atmosphere at Ashton Gate. They know we are approaching do-or-die time. What a day for Gavin Henson to make his return. First start for 4 months, last seen on October the 30th against Sale, a man of vast talent. And David Lemmy, as we were mentioning a few moments ago, played in the win against Bath way back in 2006, the only man to have tasted victory over Bath in a Bristol shirt. Maybe he can provide the spark that Bristol so desperately need today. Greg Garner in charge. David Grassoff, our television match official. And prepare those fingernails to be bitten. Jonathan Joseph back from international duty, released by Eddie Jones. 10 years since Bristol beat Bath. And we are underway, and a rather nervous start. Bath failing to gather that with any cleanliness, but it's thumped downfield, and that is an excellent kick. A really good kick from Chris Cook. And Bath are camped deep inside the 22. The opening skirmishes here. Cook, of course, at number 9 today. First Premiership start this season. Had a long time out early season with a broken foot. And Fotuali'i not available due to suspension.
2-2.
First line out today, Mark Jones. Rob Hawkins today for Bristol. Bath, though, have secured the ball. And they're setting off through Yules. Urbano with the clear out, getting a chance on the loose head today in the absence of Nathan Catt. Priestland, little chip over the top, looking for the kindly bounce, and he's got it as well. Tapawai following up nicely. Cook is there, quick ball to work with. Joseph looking to work those magical feet to within 15 metres of the try line. Priestland again. Urbano on the carry.
It's a really strong carry to tighten the numbers from the outside channel. Slow ball though.
Cook calling for support. Calling for Dave Denton, recently back from injury, 5 months out with hamstring trouble. Taken on by Paul Grant. Whipped away by Cook. Priestland for Homer. Still hovering around the 22. Beno Urbano once more. Lots of good quality possession here, but a thunderous tackle in the midfield on Elliot Stoop.
Ball is there to be played.
Tapawai. Denton. And away for Harry Davis. Now that's tight. That's very tight.
Time off.
Now, my initial thought was his knee touched the line. It's a really good attempt to tackle.
Question is, try yes or no?
Great piece of hands, isn't it? Tapawai just draws in. Defender in front of him, creates the space on the outside for Denton to put it through the hands, and it's Harrell coming over. What a tackle that is. Try saver.
Greg.
Fantastic defence from Bristol.
Line out, Bristol. Correct. No try.
It needed real power from Hurrell, didn't it? Not only to complete the tackle, but to shift that body quite a long way. They've gone quickly through Crane, though.
Crane powering towards Ross Batty. Will Hurrell saving Bristol's bacon in the corner, and Davis watching this one sail away into touch safely enough.
Very good kick, from Matthewson. There's the play again. It's just the timing of the pass from Tapawai gets them to the outside. And for all money, you think this is 5 points on the board, but Hurrell's technique, he keeps driving his feet in the tackle, gets his shoulder on the right side. Textbook.
Anything more Davis could have done?
I think he could have dived in the air, get your feet off the floor, get your feet above your shoulders. Not easy to do, though, when you're 6'4".
Strong drive, but they need to get off the touchline. Hand comes through, knocks the ball down.
And Bristol have it. Mathewson feeds Henson. This is Siale Piutau. Hurrell in attack this time, slipping past the initial challenge of Joseph, and still he moves onwards to the 10-metre line. Lemmy goes wide. Very tricky one for Henson to deal with, and Bath back in possession. Bristol got to be accurate when they have those opportunities. Cook. Stook riding the tackles, and Priestland sends it crossfield. Rockenden-Gooning underneath it, and knocked forwards from Vardell and finding touch.
Well, having been under massive pressure, Bristol have got themselves back in the game. Hurrell's having a strong game, not only the tackle but his ball carrying, player of the championship last year.
You're on line now. Okay.
There's Crane coming through.
Just come on the halfway line then.
Is that legal? Can you do that at the back of the ball? The ball's in the scrum half's hands.
Yes, you can. I think you can rip it out well.
That's fine, that's fine.
As long as you don't deliberately knock it on, I suppose. Not a ruck, it's not on the floor.
Batty and Ewells combining nicely. A little loose from Tapuai. Davis is in trouble because Lemmy's there. And Piatat straight over the ball to contest. Bath have done well to secure that. And it's not terribly secure. Cook having to go to ground. That's one way of making sure. They say make yourself long, don't they, the breakdown? Here's Vardell. The Premiership's record try scorer. Nicely offloaded. Onwards goes Bevington. This is Evans. Mathewson for Crane. Good tempo here from the home side. Picked up by Henson. Piutau. Tackling is strong from Bath. Tapuai alive to the threat down that short side. And Bath with the penalty.
Turnover was good. He played the ball on the floor.
Hands in the ruck. And Siale Piutau putting his arms up in confession.
Just see in that last place the difference. Although they make the turnover again, really good reading play and decision making from Tapuai, but how you can stop a team that has good line speed if you get that momentum, their defensive line suddenly becomes less effective, and you can really take your time on the ball, which against Bath you can't do unless you kill those big front five forwards getting off the mark quickly.
A mighty kick.
Okay, wait for them to come down if you're going to try and
taken them. Bath deep inside the 22 once more.
Which one? Okay. 6.
Here's Ross Batty, arms with the ball. Tom Dunn sadly breaking his ankle last week, so out for a lengthy spell. And here come Bath in attack. Davis off his wing, driven to the ground in the midfield.
Backwards.
Swept up by Jack Lamb.
Where's the ball? Ball's there.
Pressure relieved by Gavin Henson. Oz.
Well, talking about Henson, actually, one of the things you miss when you haven't played fly-offers a long time is actually how flat you can stand. He's 11 metres there away. What that means is the 3 defenders in front of him don't have to come forward. They can shift sideways and start the drift defence. And that might not seem that bad until the ball ends up in the 15-metre channel and you end up being hit by 3 or 4 people, and then they flood the breakdown, and that's where the turnover stems. So people think the turnover stems actually from not committing enough to the breakdown. Not quite the case always. It's by allowing more Bath players to compete.
It has been a long time. 4 months is a long time since the last start for Henson, let alone the last start at number 10. That was when he was wearing the blue, black and white of Bath. This is Jonathan Joseph, clawed to the ground by Mitch Eadie. Priestland. And the cover is good from Woodward, who's going to take his chances here. Paul Grant lying in wait. Slowed up a little bit by Woodward, but that's brilliant from Grant, and the offload is a strong one. Good stepping from Davis. That had to stick off the fingertips of Denton. Such good work from Grant and Davis.
Oh, Davis does so well to create that offload opportunity. Grant with the initial bust, gets the fend up into Henson, rides the tackle, leg strength, step back inside, take the two defenders out, and offload round the back. And if Denton's aware that Tapawai's there, that's a try.
Yeah, I don't even think Davis thought the pass was going to Denton, did he? He had eyes for Tapawai. Lovely piece of skill off the left foot. As Ben said, gets his arm, long arm, all the way through the tackle. A little flick of the wrist, so it's almost a try.
Crouch!
Running between them at scrum time. Handful more penalties awarded to Bath at this particular set piece.
Okay.
It's a Bristol field, and Mathewson is there. Handful of caps for the All Blacks a few years ago. And Bath pinged.
Yeah, Urbano being penalised.
Setting up on an angle and you've gone around the corner.
I don't think he actually did set up on the angle. What he did was he pulled that right arm of his down and in, and then his legs almost followed it round. He did try and drive straight, but just that initial angle he gets. So just watch his left arm here, just roll there, and then he steps out there, and that's what gives the referee's assistant an easy decision.
You've got to push straight. 5.
Well, he's made big advances in the last few weeks. A lot of action in the Anglo-Welsh Cup, the Challenge Cup as well for Beno Urbano.
Had the ball, that's fine.
Nathan Catt ruled out with back trouble this week. And a penalty here to Bristol to ease their concerns as well.
Perfectly legal, it's a tackle, still roll away. Start 6 meters in.
Just gets caught in, Ellis, doesn't he? Allowed to make the tackle, but because Bristol are all thinking about the maul, as soon as he goes to ground, all the blue shirts go over the top of him, trap him in. Does a good job here. Needs to move straight away to give himself any chance.
6. How many?
So boot by boot. Henson moves Bristol back inside the Bath half. Nice line-out ball for Mathewson. Henson is there. Delay on the ball for Hurrell, who's so nearly through. Priestland did well to cling on to the boot. Mathewson for Crane. Approaching the 22-metre line. Paraniso puts it on a plate. Woodward. Catalyst for so much of the good stuff that Bristol did over that festive period. Back it comes for Henson, the long-range drop goal. And it's good.
Well, they get the opportunity. Brilliant play off the line out from Mathewson. Just look how he takes out his opposite number, the tail gunner at the line out with that flat pass. That means everyone else has to stay tight. Half through the gap from Hurrell, who again having a good game. Allows Henson to drop back in the pocket, and that's a long way out. Good result for Bristol.
Two pieces of cracking play from Gavin Henson. First of all, takes the ball to the line, draws in two defenders, almost puts Hurrell through. When he was stood back there, he just thought, well, he's going to give it a go, isn't it?
Beautifully struck. No, beautifully struck.
Great drop goal from that distance.
And he's now 35 years old, but certainly in his early days he was known as the boy with the boot. Huge kick on him, but that one sweetly timed. This is Mathewson, who was caught by Homer.
Not held.
Henson in there to dig the ball out. This is Mark Jones. First Premiership start for him in 3 months.
Play on, no obstruction, no.
Bevington.
Same man made the tackle.
Very nearly running into his own man. Henson again, spotting space in behind Davis. He's picked it out beautifully as well. Henson rolling back the years here at Ashton Gate.
Well, we've always thought it, haven't we? He's a showman. When he's playing well and things are going well for him, he's brilliant to have on your team, because the ball just seems to bounce for him.
Going in the air,
it's exactly the right decision. I'm sure when he kicked that, he wasn't sure about the execution, but Bristol applying lots of pressure.
Bristol.
He's had a lot of injury problems. Picked up a nasty dead leg in the opening round of the Aviva Premiership way back in September. Game against Quins at Twickenham, and then there was shoulder trouble at the end of October.
That's fine.
Tom Ellis taking this in for Bath.
Use it!
Cook. Good pressure coming on from Tui, but he's got it away, and Woodward is there. Sizing up Denton. Pietau did such a good job in the midfield for Wasps last season. Away in Japan subsequently. Henson. Jones throws the dummy, drives into Priestland.
Use it.
Mathewson looking for a little bit of extra work rate here from that little pod of forwards that needed to break away. And Pietau is on the ball again. Beyond halfway. Henson testing out Homer. It's gone very long. And there's plenty of time for the Bath fullback. And plenty of space in behind Van Del.
Don't go forward, Bristol!
Henson has not found touch. He's found Rockendenguni, which generally, in open play, in a broken field, means trouble.
Good competition, play on, stand on his feet.
Cook. Taken on by Stoop.
Through the ruck, play on.
And the ruck is not particularly well guarded. Tapuai looking to dance his way out of trouble. Priestland again with that little jab, and Joseph's looking for the kindly bounce, and he picks it up. Jonathan Joseph heads for the try line.
No!
Wide go Bath, lovely handling. Rockendenguni skips inside Perenise. The cover was good. Bristol having to dig deep here, just 10 metres out from their try line. Denton driven back hard. Great work from Mitch Eadie. Picked up by Cook. Batty. Priestland. Joseph. Homer arrives. 3 defenders there to meet him. And Pietau slowing that up.
What's that?
Mitch Eadie has to back off.
No.
Priestland for Batty again. Stook cutting a nice line. Good contest over the ball. Bristol have it. Terrific turnover from Jordan Crane.
Huge defensive set to keep Bath out there, wave after wave coming. Jordan Crane, couple of key moments, big tackle early on, and then that huge turnover.
Wonderful clearance as well from Gavin Henson. So the old boys putting in a big shift.
Yeah, it's all about their breakdown, Ali. Look at the number of people Bristol are filing into it. They don't always compete. They stand on the fringe and then make it look like they're coming straight through the middle, disrupting all of Bath's ball. Without Francois Lowe, without Confoto Ali, normally tidying up that area. It's very strong for Bath normally. You see Confoto Ali be in over the ball there, securing it and backing out and distributing it. But 2 or 3 turnovers at crucial times stemming from what's obviously a target zone for them.
Thanks, yeah, no problem.
They were a little anxious, weren't they, ahead of this match? The lack of, well, the loss of leadership with those 2 in particular that you mentioned, Lowe and Fotuali'i.
Yeah, I think it is a huge loss for Bath, but also for Bristol. They're a lot more experienced, this team, than the side we saw play here in the Challenge Cup, where at this stage they were 25 points down from very similar situations. Bath have had 3 try-scoring opportunities, and Bristol have managed to stop all 3 of them, and that's crucial.
See the doctor there reviewing the footage of the Tom Van Del injury on an iPad. Just wants to see it before he conducts the head injury assessment, see whether Van Del was actually moving, that he wasn't out cold before they even start the process.
Jordan Williams is on the field in his place at the moment, and Rocket Manguni is looking to go around the outside of Woodward. Priestland, Urbano.
What is a worry for Bristol is they've got no sweeper in position. Mathewson stood right on the far outside. We've seen 2 or 3 little chip kicks already. Bristol have got to keep an eye on that.
Easy.
Penalty here for the visitors as the Locks embrace.
Bit of a slow dance.
This is the incident involving Tom Vandel. The Grant shoulder on the chin, wasn't it?
I think it's okay. I think they can go ahead with the HIA. Didn't look like he was out in that scenario.
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks, mate.
So the penalty allowing a shot at goal for Reece Priestland, who's had to nail some big ones in recent weeks. Important kicks against Quins and, of course, the match winner against Saints at the Rec.
Watch him in the warm-up, Ali. He was hooking a lot of his kicks off to the left. He was getting really frustrated. Hadn't slotted many. This is not the easiest one for him to start with.
Well, he's measured that beautifully. And Bath are up and running. 3 points apiece as we head into the second quarter imminently. Toby Booth alongside Todd Blackadder, Tabai Matson, of course, the other man to arrive this season at Bath on the coaching staff. Away form has been troubling. Just one away win for Bath since October. That was here in the Challenge Cup against Bristol. Lost 6 of their last 7 on the road. Tapwai. Decent clearance from a man who's made a really big impact since arriving in the Bath midfield. Low slung, very hard to bring down, and really creative, Oz.
Yeah, he's very inventive, isn't he? Quite happy to run with the ball in 2 hands. Can often misinterpret some of these ball carriers as if they're just going to crash it up. With this guy, you're never quite sure what he's going to do. Which in terms of defence makes it absolutely nightmare to stand opposite.
Jones, a good 2 feet inside the field of play as the ball was released, but never mind. On we go. Henson for Piutau. Taken on by Mitch Eadie. Through the Bristol Academy, but heading for Northampton Saints next season. Big tackling in midfield from Bath. Crane drives forwards. Mathewson for Henson. And Woodward. Middle step, but no room to breathe. Eadie. Good drive from Bevington. Henson likes another look at this drop goal. It's from just about further than the last one, and this time it is wide. He's not shy, is he?
Well, you might say, well, typical Henson having a go from long range. It's all about him. But actually, I was just thinking, Bristol have been through a number of phases there, not gone anywhere. They're expending energy without denting the Bath line. So I was thinking, well, maybe they need to kick, put it in behind. Well, why not go for 3 points if you've got the ability?
Remy feeding Henson. Loving these spirals. Homer. And Bristol celebrating that blast on the Greg Garner whistle. Chris Cook tangling with Will Hurrell.
Holding on, 7 released on his feet.
I think he thought about making that injury worse than it was then and realised, no, I won't do that.
Well, we're just inside the Bath half, and
That's where the markers are.
Henson, who's clearly got his sights on the long-range stuff this afternoon, points confidently towards the sticks. So let's have a word with Toby Booth, part of the coaching staff at Bath. Toby, your initial reaction after the opening quarter here, a couple of missed opportunities?
Yeah, for sure, and you know, we just need to be a little bit more precise at the breakdown in particular. Now we've got ourselves into good areas of the pitch, and you know, a little miss clean here. They're obviously very committed, as you'd expect, being at home, and you know, the nature of their season. So you know, we just need to be a little bit more clinical, but in relation to what we're doing, we're pretty happy. We just need to be a little bit better at it.
And we spoke in advance of the game about the loss of Khan Fatuili and Francois Lowe and the leadership that they bring. Do you feel you're suffering on that front out there?
Well, again, that's an opportunity for other people to step up, and you know, whether we like it or not, they're not here, and we need to get the job done with the people that are out there. We're confident in that they can do that. As I said, we just need to be a little bit smarter and a little bit sharper at what we're doing.
Thanks for your time, Toby.
Cheers.
The ball sailing wide from the Henson boots.
Sailing being the right word, Ali. He's on the halfway line, and it cleared the posts by a good 10 metres or so. So battle mark that and know that any competing roundabout 55 metres could result in 3 points. A bit more accuracy.
Henson on the ball again, sending it skywards again. Homer measuring it up carefully. And bringing in Paul Grant nicely as well.
Easy, lads. You right?
Friesland. Rockendenguni on the chase. And that is just too much. Fine margins, but Bristol will eat up those extra metres. Poised just outside the 22 now because of that Friesland error.
It's touched, it's touched.
It's not been altogether accurate from Bristol at the line out. They'll want this now, the opportunity to set a drive up, or at least pretend to, with Lamb stood in at scrum half, ready to go onto the ball. Bath have lost their first player on the floor. It's going backwards. The referee will tell them that's their first opportunity. It's gone to ground.
Ball's there. Yep.
Ian Evans, another who's been missing for a large chunk of the season. Again, through the middle of the ruck they go through Edie.
Sorry.
Hence. And a tester for Jordan Williams.
Bristol just struggling to get Bath to commit enough numbers for them to have an opportunity at the next breakdown. And this time, too many Bristol players stood out, not enough doing their jobs close to. But we saw them play tight. They tried to go through the forwards, try and tie in some of those grey shirts that are fanned across the field. Then we saw Henson, a late switch back, just trying to change the defensive picture for them. It's not quite working at the moment, Bristol, but they are certainly trying to ask questions and pose different problems for the Bath defence, and that will help them enormously.
And the Bristol crowd letting Friesland know what they think about that kick. That's a compound error, as they call it, from the Bath number 10, and it, again, has rather let Bristol off the hook.
The first one, guy's not going around pushing straight, it's going around the corner. Okay.
So this is a conversation that's ongoing between Tom Vondel and the
so hold the weight again.
officials in the
Pre-engage was
tunnel.
really good last time. No
Clearly he wants to return in something of a hurry.
Bind. Set.
Keep you updated on that as we learn any more. That is not budging 1 inch.
Use it!
Mathewson darting. The penalty awarded by Greg Garner. There was some assistance there from the assistant referee on the far side touchline.
Number 1 played the ball with his hand in the scrub.
So it looks like Ryan Bevington's been singled out for feeding the ball back with his hand.
Adam, it's up here, Adam, I'm more 10 metre line, from 10 metre line. Take the line. 6.
So it's not been the tidiest passage from Bath, but they've made it up to the 10 metre line inside the Bristol half now. The Tom Vondel saga continues, we understand, down in the tunnel.
More! 6! 6 Bristol! 8 Bristol!
Well, now Bristol got no bodies in behind. They need to go a bit further back and then run in with power. You saw Jordan Crane just almost fold
Bristol,
in. That's never going to stop them.
Keep it up.
That's where they started, on the yellow line. Cook looking to break now, but it's still edging forward, and they're losing blue shirts in front of them again. Someone needs to fly in from a long way out and hit it and stop it.
Tackle!
Finally, the massive body splinters. And it's taken on by Grant. Cook looking for a bit of urgency from the carriers.
It's fine. Ten's on his feet through the
Picked
middle.
up nicely by Cook. Homer slightly caught in two minds, but really good footwork and strength as well. And Urbano taking his eyes off it at the all-important moment.
3 side entry.
So
Side entry against
that
you.
is not a happy
He was in
man.
a position to get the ball. It's knocked on. 3 side entry.
Well, it's good defence again from Bristol, but this is probably what they're looking at, the doctors. He slips Vondel after the connection, and then as he gets to his feet, his first 2 strides are stumbles. And that's usually an indication to the doctors and the medical staff that something's not quite right. He obviously disagrees. He wants to go back on the field.
Well, we understand he's failed the head injury assessment. And this is where you see a really graphic illustration of the kind of pressure that some of the medics and some of the staff have put under, because of course the player wants to be back on the field. He in himself is feeling fine right now, but who's to say the actual damage?
But it's their decision,
very
isn't
frustrating, but he's just going to have to live with it.
Professionally, they can't put themselves at risk, the doctors, to take any chances, and why would you?
Well, Tom's going to be hugely frustrated there. What he's got to think about it as, it's the same as if he gets substituted by the coach. It's no different. They get the last say. He'll be fuming, but I'm sure he'll calm down.
So Tom Ellis is coming off, looks like a bleeding nose, but we're also being told that this is going to be a head injury assessment.
There was no penalty.
And Guy Mercer is on, the club skipper, in the back row in his place. More casualties. Another Bristol man is being led from the field. Ryan Bevington. So the medics are being kept busy. And Jack O'Connell runs on for a Premiership appearance, a rare Premiership appearance for a man who's come through the Leinster Academy.
7.
Less than half an hour of top
Take the
flight
line,
rugby
please.
in this league. But onto the loose head.
That's fine, Steve. That's fine. That's fine.
That wasn't straight from Mark Jones. So the line-out not functioning with total fluency from a Bristol perspective.
Fantastic that side. Really straight, really stable. Yep. Save again.
It doesn't help that slight drift into the line out as well highlights it to the referee.
Tom Ellis injury, we can confirm, is just for blood, so he will presumably return shortly.
Bind. Set. Hold on. Hold. Balls out. Play on.
Scrabbling. Cook doing well, making the most of limited space. And that's a lovely offload from Mercer. Davis again on the stretch, looking to get it away.
Well into touch for me, Greg. So it came off a Bristol,
at the moment,
Bristol hand.
Harry Davis is finding life tricky in that last little moment that needs to be bang on the money.
Just watching
so it's your option,
Obama there, he'd really got the left-hand side going forward, which created that gap down the blind side.
Lost forward.
But he did go, it was almost, he did exactly the same as when he got penalised. His hips came out, so he got Bristol marching forward first, but then it's definite shift of the hips to try and create that blind side for Bath.
Yep, there you go.
Davis finding the space, but not quite finding the offloads at the moment. A couple have gone begging. Bristol penned inside their 22 again.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Wait. Wait. Okay. Make sure they're square, Steve. Use it, Bristol! Play on, balls out. Play on.
It's been tidied by Jack Lamb. Taken on by Ian Evans.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mercer looking to disrupt.
Let's let it go, let it come. Yeah, that's fine. Let it come, because he's in the way. Get out of the way. Take
Proper
that ball
mess,
out.
isn't it?
His leg is trapped.
There's the ball.
Stand still,
There's Henson's boot again.
Six!
Harry Davis
Put him on.
sets off on a little excursion up to the 10-metre line. Priestland, Tapuai chasing. And gathered by Henson. And he's given that some welly as well, and in behind Priestlands.
Stand still, Bar. Stand still. Now you can go.
And the two Welshmen trading blows with the boot at the moment. Henson, though, has had enough of the kicking. Jordan Williams setting this one up. Henson. And that's more like it on the kicking front. Really accurate. Davis underneath it. Good chase, though, from Lemmy.
So rock now, 8. Off your feet.
And that's got far too much on it from Chris Cook, and they're going to come all the way back.
Again, it's the accuracy from the Bath half-backs that's letting them down. Good kicking position, loads of space in the backfield as well, because Bristol have only got their back three there. Matthewson's not stood back. You haven't got a big 8 carrier to get the ball up in the air high, kick to compete. Again, another example of poor kicking, and we see far too much of it in the Aviva Premiership.
No feedback at all.
Back comes Bevington. Off goes Jack O'Connell. There's Alan Solomons on the left of your screen. To Mark Tainton's right, 66-year-old South African. Been around the world really with his coaching CV. Left Edinburgh earlier this season. And of course some juggling going on, not least of course with Pat Lamb coming in next season, but Mark Tainton will move into a Chief Operating Officer position come the new campaign, whether that is a Premiership one or a Championship one. Piatau for Hurrell, nicely round on the outside goes Henson, and Jordan Williams makes it inside the 22. Good thrust from Crane. Matthewson for Perenise. Looking to work that short side. Piatau. Matthewson again. And the high tackle has resulted in the advantage being played.
Yeah, okay. Penalty advantage. Use it!
Home side with a free shot here. What will they do with it?
Fine through the middle, good counter ruck. Still advantage.
Henson spurning the opportunity of a drop goal this time. Oh, that was the kind of pass that might have been good for a drop goal, but Henson was positioned a little wider.
Well, better again from Bristol, all started by the old man of the team, Jordan Crane.
Yeah, just there.
Just check that Halverson doesn't go quickly with this penalty. But he runs a really intelligent line back against the grain. And then it sort of highlights a bit about the more modern day player standing still and wanting to take the ball standing still as a forward. Crane gets in. That now needs someone on the same line to chop in. All the eyes are looking back at the breakdown, but when Perenisi gets it, he's stood still, so he's flat, and it just makes it so easy for the defender to come and get him man and ball. If he follows him with, I think the referees are calling that the seatbelt tackle now, where you go over the top of the shoulder.
Sorry?
Not particularly dangerous, but still illegal. But when you get that momentum and in behind, you want someone else to follow it up with a really confrontational line. And if the 9 wants to miss him out and put it behind his back, at least you've held the defenders. Or if the defenders don't converge in on you, you've got a big hole to run through.
Henson again then with the boot. And the former Bath man putting Bristol back in front as we approach half-time. He's had a bright 40-odd minutes, Gavin Henson. And Austin was saying, when the mood takes him, when the sun is on his back and he's feeling fit and healthy, he can dominate a match. Mathewson has done extremely well. What a great kick. Taken
back!
Early by Davis. Homer is dragged down. Cook arrives. Priestland thumps it down the middle. Henson chasing his own kick. Homer hasn't gathered. Grant.
Okay. Take him back.
Cook.
Yeah, you're onside.
And Woodward. Opportunities here potentially for Jason Woodward. Loves a counter-attack. Slips it away to Piatow. The ball has squirted out of the ruck, but Bath have gone off their feet.
Again, Mathewson always looking for that little quick tap penalty, trying to inject pace on the game.
Okay.
Something of a clash of heads there for Woodward as he piled into that ruck.
He's got 59 seconds to take the kick. He can use a minute if he wants.
There's Alfie Mathewson, who was signed from the Western Force, came off the bench last week. First Premiership start this week, but we've got another penalty attempt here from long distance.
He's impressed, hasn't he? Just almost just that air of control and a little bit of spark about him. Tempo of Bristol seems a little bit higher, with Mathewson controlling the shots of the forwards. Good balance between giving it to them and giving it to that man Henson.
Gavin Henson in the groove. 3 more vital points for Bristol, who have scrapped and slugged their way through this 40 minutes. It's not been particularly pretty, but they've got a 6-point cushion at the break. And they lead by 9 points to 3. All the analysis to come in the company of Dave. Well, it was Alan Solomons doing all the talking in the Bristol dressing room at half-time. By reputation, a straight talker, unafraid of ruffling feathers, upsetting the status quo if necessary. And by all accounts, he has arrived here guns blazing. He's had some blunt messages, but above all, he has brought some clarity. And Bristol need that badly if they're to see this through today and give themselves a fighting chance of Premiership survival. Worcester at Sixways next Sunday, live on BT Sport at the moment. 6 points adrift, 6.5 games remaining. And Mathewson, who has done some very, very good things in the opening part of this match, sending that away into the stands. He's not terribly impressed with the distance gained.
Six, I think.
So Bath, who've been a little sloppy at times, squandered a couple of decent opportunities early on in the match. Win possession through Stook.
Get out!
Transferred carefully, side entry from Bristol, penalty awarded, and this within kicking range.
Mark's here, if that makes a difference. Shot.
Decided to take the points on offer rather than risk a scrappy line out. Good setup. See the work to transfer the ball to the back, and just as they spin in field, players coming around the outside, changing their bind.
Sorry?
Jordan Crane, the last one to do it,
Line out's over.
and gets penalised as the Moore goes to ground.
Bristol with just a single kick in the opening half. That is going to slide on by, as the rules will tell you from the Bristol fans. Hasn't missed many this season, just his fourth miss in the Premiership in the entire campaign.
Right, behind him.
So Bristol being given a few opportunities here, being given the chance to capitalise on the Bath errors. And Henson sends it long.
Inside!
Davis gathers. Homer.
Inside!
Woodward. From outside the 22. Oh dear, that's a bad mistake from Rokanaguni.
You could have let that go as well, because Woodward was outside. It's 22. Looked like the ball was going out on the full there. Maybe Rokanaguni was so far away he couldn't hear that he was outside, but it looked pretty evident. Maybe it was going to land on the field of play.
So line
it's
out,
just a mistake.
It's not going to touch. Line out. Line out.
All about his lethal ability in broken field, in open spaces, even in tight confined spaces. But that one, quite a big error which Bristol need to make the most of now. Mark Jones, much better, much straighter.
They've got that right hand shoulder down, haven't they? Now they've got in front, but they didn't take the ball with them.
Pietau, the target, goes for a second bite. And running out of space here, so Lamb carves back infield. Eadie for Crane. And the penalty awarded. Bath infringing, and Henson boots that straight up in the air, knowing that the whistle will blow.
I know you're trying, but you're slowing that ball down.
Been a penalty either way there, really. One of the Bath clear-out players going off their feet. Sorry, Bristol clear-out players going off their feet. Tui driving straight over the top. The referee had already spotted the Bath infringement. Opportunity for Henson to put 3 on the board.
It's very difficult nowadays, I think, if you're the tackler in midfield, because if someone runs at you straight and you hit them and hold on to their legs because you don't want them to call through and get an extra yard of the ruck and take the space, it's almost impossible to roll away from the ball. You want to stick on the tackle for as long as you possibly can. Not always necessarily to stop the clean out from going through, but like I said, to keep the ruck short in its distance.
Gavin Henson 12, Bath 3. How they have missed him. Less than an hour of Premiership action across 3 games this season, Gavin Henson, and making up for it this afternoon. Lemmy not afforded any space this afternoon to date.
Inside.
Mathewson. Again, searching for greater distance, but settling for a handful of metres. And we're back in a very familiar part of the pitch. Wind's picked up a bit.
Bath cut to a 6-man. Penalty coming for the collapse maul. You can only have one player making the tackle if there's more than that in the maul.
Tapawai leaves it hanging for Priestland, who goes wide to Rockenden-Gooney. One-on-one with Woodward, through Woodward. Dragged down eventually by Jordan Williams. Priestland very flat. Mercer. Cook. Priestland again. Joseph shoveling it on. Tapawai sucks in the defender. Grant releases Williams. It's Denton.
Time off.
He's sure he's got it, hasn't he? Really strong defensively.
David, try yes or no, please.
Greg, questions, try yes or no.
Again, Tapawai holding the defenders, creating that space on the outside. And I don't think there's any problems with this, and there's that foot. Oh no, it's the foot again.
Someone's talking to you. Let me deal with this, I'll come and talk to you.
There's no doubt the left foot's in touch. Very, very close. Great hands from the Bath back line, in particular Joseph under pressure.
So no try, line out Bristol.
Yes, Greg.
Okay. No try. Okay, time off, line out.
Not for the first time this afternoon. Bath denied by the smallest of margins.
Good hands from Joseph, and then Tapawai just holding, stepping back onto Mark Jones, making him bite in on him, just giving an extra couple of metres on the outside.
Right, how many? 2, is it? Is it 2? 3. 3. Okay, time on.
Short they go, and that worked nicely between Evans and Mark Jones. Bought themselves a precious few metres, and after the near miss from Dave Denton, Bristol will be well pleased to see this sailing safely clear via the Henson boot. This is Harry Williams. Homer for Rockenden-Gooney. Offload for Joseph. And Jordan Williams back to make a second tackle in a handful of seconds. A Heath. And coming flying out is Tui.
Really well read from Tui. Saw only one man it could go to. Flies up, catches him man and ball from his blind spot.
Nicely onwards from Tapawai. Suggestion of a forward pass, but Williams goes onwards. That is forward.
Great play from Lemmy. Steps out the line, puts the pressure on Tapawai, who shows great skill to get it away, but then turns and catches Davis from behind.
Two men down for Bristol behind as well.
One of the worst tackles to take. As you see, it gets to the outside here. Bristol need to work harder to get to the far side. They end up short-handed. Jordan Crane's calling players out. Reece Priestland sees it. Lemmy recognises it, has to shoot out the line to try and stop it on the outside. It's great hands again, potentially forward there. But it's the turn and the tackle from Lemmy that gets his side out of trouble. You always hated these ones when you're broken through and you think you're away, and then you get a shock tackle from behind. You're never expecting it.
What's happening there, Adam?
With just the body of the defender. Oh, yeah, that's not great, is it?
Okay, knock on, scrum.
They're making the change over here, Greg. It's not a head injury.
All right, we'll play on. Okay, scrum.
Having a bad day with Harry Davis. Apologies, Harry. Shave your hair or something, and that'll cure the Dave Denson conundrum at long distance. But
It is long distance as well, because we must be about 4 miles away from the other side of the field here.
I think this is the furthest of all our Premiership positions.
Dave Denson's got slightly more highlights in his hair, maybe.
This is what it's come to in Premiership rugby, defining players by their highlights.
I'm sure it's natural.
Never a problem for you two. 2CPC's on, and Jordan Williams is off. He looks to be in some pain as well.
Yeah, so Hurrell's had to go out. TC's gone into 12. Hurrell's had to go out to wing because obviously Tom Varndell already replaced.
Set! Wait.
That'll be a worry for Bristol, actually, because Hurrell's not the quickest guy. When he stood opposite Rockadaguni, normally in trouble.
Ball's out, play on.
Mathewson disrupted a little bit. First side of 2CPC, eager to
play on. He was
make
onside,
ground, ball in hand.
onside.
Hansen fires that, trying to bisect Rockadaguni and Homer. Here's the Bath fullback, nice dummy through the hole. Tapawai was tracking on the inside. Rockadaguni was taken on the outside. Taken on by Stook, who's carried well this afternoon. Priestland. Driven. Really strongly to the ground. Picked up by Mercer. And not forwards.
Yeah, we mentioned about Hurrell being on the wing. He misses a tackle here, but he needs a little bit more protection. The kick chase is good, but he's going to be worried about Rockadaguni's pace. So he needs Woodward a little bit close to him, and Woodward can't miss that tackle because Homer's Woodward's man, the middle man of the three-man chase, has to go for the ball. Otherwise, Hurrell's thinking, well, if I step in, the ball will go to Rockadaguni. And he ends up in two minds and doesn't tackle anyone. Big hit, though, in midfield.
Terrific tackle from Bevington and Tui as well.
Just looking at it from a different angle, Ben. Watch the work of Joseph. Because he stands directly behind, it's difficult to drift for Woodward. But then the piece of defence I really like is Henson. So rather than hanging back and letting Rockadaguni make a decision, he really advances towards him, puts him under pressure, puts him on the floor. Excellent defensive to the last man. Too many last men you see just stand there and plant both their feet and say to the ball carrier, go on, you're in control. But by advancing on them really quickly, you take control of the situation.
I just wonder if that's increased. I completely take your point, but the fact that it was Rockadaguni and Bath used him so frequently, and he obviously is the danger man in that area. Henson obviously made that call, read it brilliantly. But was his decision making made easier by the fact that it was Rocco opposite him? There's such a high chance of him getting the ball in that scenario.
Possibly, but I think it also helps that you're 35 years old, and you know that if you give someone like Rocco the outside and you stand your feet up, you're going to be ending up with a dirty bum.
I think we'll leave that there.
Well, you know what I mean. Sat on your backside and conceding 5 points.
Indeed I do. Max Clark is on, and Harry Davis is off.
Time on. Crouch!
There are a lot of good curry houses though in Bristol, I am led to believe.
Good scrum from Bristol. Nice platform for Mathewson to work off. Pietau goes wide, leaves the ball in front of Hurrell, advancing over the 10-metre line. Picked up by PC. Tackle made by Mercer. Mathewson. PC again. The issue that was highlighted by Ben in the first half. Forwards asked to carry from a standing start and therefore being driven back behind the gain line. Bath's defence has been excellent all season. Hurrell. Well tackled by Priestland.
Denton's done so well to get in on there. The referee telling him to leave it, but he slowed it down. He could have turned that over.
Henson. PC. This is down to it. Fortune hit from Ricky McGrooney.
Right top, didn't clear, slightly clear out.
Henson again, little step through the hole, gets the ball away nicely as well. And Lemmy can't hang on to it.
Easy.
Well, what Bristol did really well there was manipulate it so that all the front row forwards of Bath were stood with a lot of space in midfield. Look, that's all the front row. Abano, the step inside. Ross Batty with the missed tackle. Lot to do. There was a big gap between him and Abano. I think he probably tried to close it before Henson had released the ball. That gave him the inside shoulder, and Henson with the step. And then the wherewithal to offload as the tackle comes in. Skips through one, draws Cook. That's brilliant play.
Some really nice play actually from the backs, particularly Henson. And this is a really good example of decoy runners creating space back on the inside. You look at the three big ball carriers, all running back outside shoulders. Now you might think that's done nothing, but as it gets to the outside PC, if you stop it there, Pietau's got the opportunity now to go back on the inside. It's created a 9-metre gap between the big inside defenders and Joseph. You put a little switch in there, you end up going back to exactly what you've created, as opposed to just constantly going to the outside.
Well, that's fine.
They're really starting to mix their play up. Probably the best way that we've seen them play all season in the back line. It's not just Gavin Henson, having Pietau there and PC now as well. You've got some really good decision makers.
Crouch! Bind!
Wayne Peel and Jonathan Thomas, part of the coaching setup, of course, at Bristol. Peel heading for Ulster next season.
Okay.
Changes being made regardless of their Premiership survival or otherwise.
Gone forward,
Penalty to Bath.
Bristol gone round. They've gone forward, Bristol gone round.
Jamal Ford-Robinson was the man who's come on at tight head prop for the home side in place of Perenise.
I think both sets of forwards did exactly the same thing there. They both went through their loose heads and it ended up spinning round. The loose heads sheared off on both sides, so the advantage goes to the team putting the ball in.
I think it's fair to say, though, that Bath Pack have got the upper hand. They have both in the line-out driving ball, in the scrum they've had the upper hand. But then you look at the scoreboard, 12-3, it tells you that the Bath halfbacks haven't got control of the game. Cook and Priestland aren't controlling field position despite the advantage that their forwards are given them.
Good work from Stoke.
5, you've come offside.
And Greg Dana
5, you've come offside, the line-out's not over.
not liking the activities of Dan Toohey.
5's offside, line-out hasn't finished.
Compound error. Give away a penalty in your own, when you're attacking from a scrum, albeit a defensive scrum, but you're still in the right areas of the field. You come down to the line out and immediately give another penalty away, and now you're defending 15 metres out from your own line instead of having the ball kicked back to you by the opposition.
Dan Toohey staying on the field. Ian Evans is being replaced. Sam Jeffries is on for another Premiership appearance. Made his debut against Tigers last week. This is looking like a slick operation from the Bath pack. Cook organising, barking the instructions. Taken on by Denton.
Playing exceptionally well, Denton, isn't he? Yeah.
Not quite true Scotsman. Good pressure from Bath here. Bristol will have to be very careful. Mercer is cut down. Taken on by Grant. One forwards and Bristol are able to regroup. Mathewson bringing the control, but also the adventure. That was very brave. Lemmy is away. And now Woodward left with nowhere to go. Good tackle from Clark.
Throwing the ball into touch, you try to get it off, you take a quick one, you throw it in the crowd.
It's a big loss, isn't it?
All that good work undone.
Just the difference between the two teams, we're talking about those, yes, the pack are on top, but every time Bath get into the red zone, the attacking zone, they're making these errors in the contact and losing the ball. If you look at it, 9 handling errors for Bath to 2 of Bristol.
And Lemmy releasing Woodward, who once he was tackled, chucked the ball away into the crowd, and that has resulted in this penalty which Priestland is lining up now. Red Garner quickly onto that, and it might be costly for the Bristol fullback,
particularly as it's 15 metres in.
That's tidy from Priestland. Bath just beginning to press, asking 1 or 2 questions. If Bristol are to come through here this afternoon, they're going to have to dog out this last 22 minutes. Delicately balanced. 10 long years since Bristol beat Bath here at Ashton Gate. And the ball has fallen nicely for Mitch Eadie. Mathewson. Ford Robinson. Another of those heading to Northampton Saints next season. Mercer has to remove himself. PC. Taken by Batty. Crane. Henson. Piatau. Ball lost.
No knock on.
Henson gathers it back in. No knock on for Bristol. This is Hurrell. And they build again through Mark Jones.
7 off feet.
Henson. Bevington caught on the gain line.
Tackle.
Bristol just going through phase after phase. Bath just need to keep their discipline. They're not going anywhere. They can't afford to give away a penalty. Obviously within Henson's range, they just need go through their defensive set and wait for Bristol to make the mistake.
Henson trying to put a bit of width on the ball, and PC trying to skip through trouble. Taken on nicely by Eadie. Noise inside Ashton Gate. Still Bristol probe for those spaces.
13 through the middle.
Crane into reverse. Hurrell gathers. 14th phase of possession here for the home side.
Yeah, arms down, please. Thank you.
Jack Lamb. Henson pirouettes. Piatau.
Mathewson running out a bit of a steam. He's arriving a little bit late at a lot of the breakdowns now, so delays the carry.
Still they use the big men, but Pietau is searching out some friends. He's found Dan Tui.
He's not.
And the penalty goes Bath's way. Just about holding up his own body weight. Really good work from Mercer.
Well, phase after phase, what he does is he doesn't get involved in the hit. He doesn't try and knock the man backwards. He lets him go to ground. Tui targets the ball straight away and then, all importantly, lifts it. You can see a hand around his face, potential for a net roll there, but just watch the technique. Lets him go, hands on the ball immediately, and then tries to lift it. So the referee knows that he's trying to play it.
Great turnover from Guy Mercer in the absence of Francois Lowe. Important to have a man so accomplished on the floor. Of course, Sam Underhill will be arriving at Bath next season from the Ospreys to challenge for a starting place, not just in the club team, but for England honours as well.
Might be
Highly rated youngster.
Yeah, quite a good back row, that. Underhill, Francois Lowe, Faletau.
It's decent.
Denton's had a great game today as well. Keeps his fitness.
And it might not be too long before he starts attracting the attention of the Scottish selectors as well, of course, with Josh Strauss missing in their back row.
It's Harry Davis, isn't it? I know it's Denton, sorry.
Insert's good.
He.
More!
Sunday humour.
That's one!
Or lack of.
Bath on the march. 18 minutes to go. 6 points in it. Priestland for Tapuai. Bristol far from comfortable here.
Play on, no one had the ball. Play on.
Taken in by Ewells. Denton. Tackled by Phil Robinson. Did he use enough of the arm?
Bowling ball tackle, which is very difficult, particularly for the props, to get the shoulder flexibility to wrap the arms. Makes it impossible for Denton. Tries to wrap the arms, doesn't he? Certainly they're up there. Both arms going in. Gets his head on the wrong side, but...
Is it 5? It's 5. Bath out of space, please. That's fine, mate. That's fine. That's fine, mate. That's fine.
Max Crompton is the new Bristol hooker, and he's got his hands on the ball again from the line out. Bath have disrupted that really very effectively, and they've got the ball.
Yeah, it started with really good pressure on the throw, which meant that it wasn't that easy land, able to get into good body positions. But watch the work of Laheath. I think it is who comes in there over the top, wraps those arms around under the ball, and then Bristol desperate to get it down to the ground to give them an opportunity to get the ball back, and Laheath falls on top as he's allowed to, as it's a more.
Hold your weights. Crouch. Bind. Set. Wait. Not square stationary, so we'll reset it.
The collapse maul into a ruck scenario I thought was refereed very well yesterday by Nigel Owens, who almost allowed it to become a ruck on the floor. Move players out the way, let it progress naturally.
The other thing that the referees are being a lot hotter on is if you, as the player, before he calls more, if you can get your knee down to ground, it counts as a tackle. So as soon as they spot a knee go down, they're saying tackle, release the ball player.
Set.
That'd have been quite useful then, because my knees are really close to the ground.
Cook for Priestland. Joseph looking to spark things into life here. Homer Rockenden tracking, looking for that little offload. The ball is loose.
No knock-on.
It's been reclaimed by Bath, and Mercer is really enjoying himself off the bench. Joseph.
Bristol back to competing with every breakdown, and Lamb wins it this time. We saw Pietau win the ball. Unfortunately for Bristol, they turned it back over, but Pietau, as the tackler, could get back to his feet, come in from any angle. And then this time Lamb allowing Lemmy to make the tackle and then targeting the ball straight away. Poor attempted clear out from some of those wide players for Bath.
Just get the impression neither side quite able to grab this match by the scruff of the neck and put it to bed. You don't feel that Bristol are remotely safe at this point. You don't have total confidence that Bath can come up with the necessary to get it finished here either. Very testing last quarter of an hour or so. Crompton on target. Mathewson delivered lovely ball. Hansen, and through the middle goes Pietau. And the intercept from Rockenden chases on from Mathewson. Call off the Dogs. Quiet for the best part of an hour. Samisa Rockenden touches down for Bath. A one-point ball game with the conversion to come. Bristol a little loose and punished. 10th try of the campaign for the England international.
Just looking back on the inside, PC maybe a little bit distracted by his options inside, so that when he turned it almost started to throw the pass, and too late to draw it back in once he realised Rocco was there. And as soon as the ball's safely in that man's hands, none of the turning defenders are going to be able to catch him.
It was a lovely set-up play to begin with from Bristol in the midfield. Pietau over the gain line, almost got the offload off the floor, but it left 2 or 3 of the fellow backs on the floor. As PC comes around the corner, he feels isolated and surrounded, throws the pass. Maybe 7 points.
Oh, it's drifted across the face. Bristol remain in front. This the moment plenty of hearts sank at Ashton Gate. Now level with Christian Wade at the top of the Premiership try-scoring charts this season in double figures.
Well, that's woken Ashton Gate up, hasn't it? Real nervous tension around the ground.
Much to be done in the next 12 minutes. Will it all come down to that conversion that just shaved the edge of the post from Reece Priestland? Hansen. Oh, now what's happened there? Was he taken out as he slips?
Shot, I think.
Play on. Thank you. Play on.
Bath back in possession. Homer. And finding a wonderful touch. What a kick that is from Tom Homer. Pressure right back on the home side.
Great kick from Homer. Went into the back of Morpho, and by all accounts...
He stood still.
Yeah, he's got his eyes on the ball, so he's not trying to milk a penalty until the last second, so that's fine. Morpho sort of knows he's there as well, doesn't he? He's not the smallest back in the world to run around.
But what? It sort of gave him a look as if to say, what are you doing running near me?
You're going to get hurt. Yes. I'm not sure what Woodward was doing on this scenario. As Homer kicks the ball, he's lost it in flight. He thinks it's going out on the full. Now they're under real pressure.
Taken in by Sam Jeffries.
Going to 5. 17's legal. That's their own players.
Mathewson will do the kicking himself. Oh dear. That's not gone well. And now there are big question marks because this is Bath ball. Alan Solomon's animated character seems to have taken a very, very important role in an extremely short period of time. Changes being made. Bevington off for good this time, and Jack O'Connell coming on a permanent basis. And don't forget that you'll be able to see all the highlights from this round of action in the Aviva Premiership round 16, 10 o'clock tonight, BT Sport 1 HD. And then we start next Friday at Welford Road, a reinvigorated Leicester Tigers up against Exeter Chiefs, who are currently sitting in second place and going along very, very nicely indeed. Bath against Wasps is at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon, BT Sport 2 and 4K UHD, and then Sunday, Worcester Bristol, the big one at the bottom. And it would be even bigger if Bristol could cling on to this 1 point advantage. So much resting on the next 10 minutes. Bath looking to finish the job that Rockandunguni has started.
Just need to stop it once, Bristol, because the referee's already called.
Use it!
They've done it.
It's there for Cook. Rockandunguni again. The tackle is a good one from Henson. Up really fast.
I'm not sure there was an arm there from Mercer coming in. I think he used his shoulder on the clear out.
Turnover ball regardless. And now the penalty.
Brilliant shot tackle from Gavin Henson, which gave Lamb the shot at the ball. Good defence under real pressure. The Bath drive was very, very good. They managed to stop it.
Greg, what I'm going to show you is the clear out by Bath 20.
Could get worse for Bath here.
Mercer potentially in hot water.
There's the chop tackle from Henson. Really good tackle, as you said. Takes him off his feet. Well, he's lucky he misses, doesn't he? There's nothing in that.
To see if we got another
almost connects with Mitch Eady, but not quite.
All right.
Want to see one more angle of it, I
it's
think.
just the same angle again, Greg, with leads in with the shoulder, but he doesn't seem to make contact.
Yeah. So he doesn't make any contact.
We don't have a clear
anybody
angle of making contact. No.
So I'm just going to stick with the penalty against Bath for going off their feet.
Agreed, Greg.
All right. Okay. That's fine. So it's fine. So if you'd have made contact,
It's a fresh air shot, wasn't it? Sort of like Ben on the golf course.
When I'm playing with you.
Yeah, it's your penalty because he didn't make contact.
Make sure I hit.
Yeah, so he's come in off his feet. If he'd have made contact, it would have been a different story. Sit with the same penalty.
So Mercer
Thanks,
stays on, and Bristol breathe a hefty sigh of relief because that was a very, very significant passage of play. Henson delivers the metres via the boot. Takes it beyond the 10-metre line.
Mate, put Bath on the 10.
Putting himself about everywhere today, Gavin Henson. Very, very good.
5.
From the tee, the drop goal. He's been buzzing around the midfield, creating all sorts. And there we saw the defensive excellence as well. Great to see him back in that kind of form. And getting this one away under a lot of pressure. This is going to be straight down the throat of Rockandunguni. Oh, he's knocked that forwards. That's twice under the high ball that Bath's winger has faltered.
Under real pressure from the delivery of the line out, Henson puts it high. No real pressure for Rocco, just loses the flight of the ball. Ends up facing back towards his own line, but knocking the ball over his own shoulder. And this is a huge 7.5 minutes for Bristol. And their hopes of staying up in the Premiership, and have they just been given a foot on the ladder to doing that by that man?
They've given their chances today, Bristol. They will kick themselves if this match eludes them. 7 minutes to play. Bristol possession. Deep inside the Bath half. Mathewson picked up by Crane. Mathewson and PC through the middle. Brought down by Cook.
Get up!
Both and Mathewson tumbling into each other on the grounds. And there Tui showing his strength.
It's okay.
Henson, the inside ball. Mitch Eady, the carriers having to go to the well at this point. 73.5 minutes in. Crane, a little tip on. Jack Lamb is cut down low and early.
Hands away, Bart!
Mathewson, Henson. Crane again.
Big work rate from Crane, isn't it? Doing the hard yards, trying to tie in those numbers, give an outlet to Mathewson.
Again, the show from PC, just couldn't quite get the ball away. It may have been stolen. No, it's there for Mathewson. And then the ball is ripped. And Homer thumps it. That's off Jamal Ford-Robinson. Taken in again for Bristol. Just outside the 22. Crumpton.
Arriving players.
And PC off his feet at the ruck. Bath the beneficiaries.
22 off feet.
Such an important charge down by Ford-Robinson. Bristol had everyone in front of the ball there. Rockadaguni on the chase. He would have been about 5 yards offside, mind, had he chased from that position, but...
Time off.
First Premiership try against Leicester last week. Came through the Tigers Academy, Jamal Ford-Robinson. Bristol-born player, but as we saw there, heading to the East Midlands.
What did I do?
No, what did you do?
What did I say?
So a little break after a furious passage of play. Ross Batty
Where was it?
is jogging across for the line out. Less than 5 minutes remaining. How crucial this could be for Bristol. As it stands, if they can close it out here by this tiniest of margins, they would be within 2 points of Worcester as they head to Six Ways next Sunday. Live on BT Sport. Batty combining with Stook.
That's a back play on the floor.
The platform is well set. Priestland, Tapuai, Priestland, Rockenden-Gooney, that was slick. That less so. Joseph. Homer. Levy makes an important tackle, allowing the contest, but it is still Bath ball. Darryl Marfo. Bristol have stolen it. That's terrific work from Mitch Eady. Another priceless turnover. Henson.
There's no real chase there. This needs to go out. Well kept in.
Just about by Grant. Rockenden-Gooney. Manhandled by Hurrell. PC piling in as well. Bath back inside their half. This is Kane Palmer-Newport freshly onto the pitch. Priestland, Denton, Wallops, Tui and Lamb teaming up together. Great pressure from the Bristol defence, but still there is space on the outside, potentially. It's not going to make its way to Rockenden-Gooney this time.
Are we clear?
Bristol digging so deep at the moment. Wide they go again. This is Max Clark. PC shadowing him. Lamb tracking him as well and bringing him down.
Well, Bristol are getting extra energy because they've got a sniff of this win now. Some of the hits coming in are huge, but they have to keep some width.
Joseph, that's a very testing kick, and it's just too quick for Rokandanguni. 2.5 minutes remaining. Bath trying to conjure something.
Look at the quality of the turnover. Really good. The referee actually called leave. I don't think he'd realised the ball had been lifted. Superb play, and then look at these hits coming in. Line speed's good, no time to react once the ball's been caught. And then Lamb combining with Turi to absolutely pile drive Denton.
Total unbending commitment.
Double the turnovers for Bristol. Couple that with some of the handling errors that Bath have made. That's why they're not in a better position going into these last 2 minutes.
Bristol have just about clung onto it. Greg Garner says it went backwards. This is when the old heads will know that a handful of one-out runners might just be enough.
They have to be really careful that they don't give a penalty away for the clear out. Though the referee's already penalised players in this game for going off feet. It's very difficult when you ball carrier's not trying to get extra distance, just trying to run the clock down, not to get caught out, just sealing off.
TCPC is launched up to halfway. Jordan Crane, who's been carrying and carrying and carrying some more. Ford Robinson ducking through the challenges, getting the offload away. Driven on by Crumpton. Bristol seeking another score here, which would make sure of the win. Mathewson taken on by Edie, who's had a colossal match. Crumpton spiralling through the hits. Just 1 minute remaining for what would be a priceless win. Ford Robinson, who has offered so much energy off the bench. Possession is enough here for Bristol. Edie has it.
He wrote you off it.
Mathewson bringing the structure and the control. Jeffries with another carry. 30 seconds to 4 precious points that might change everything in the Premiership season of Bristol Rugby.
How long, Paul?
Referee just checking how long. 15 seconds. Bristol probably just need one more hit up here, and then they can take their time to drag it back. Mathewson can go to the sidelines. Henson's in there, trying to boss the clock. Mathewson just checking.
A monster victory. In the context of Bristol's Premiership survival, a monster victory. The gap now to Worcester, just 2 points. They go to 6 ways next Sunday, knowing that the Warriors will feel the hot breath on their neck. Goodness, what commitment from these men for whom the season was drifting away. But the Great Escape is on, make no mistake, it is on now.
Pure will to win got Bristol over the line. Bath will be disappointed with the amount of errors they made in the game, but Bristol, they built that performance on defence, and the last 5 minutes typified it with some of the turnovers and the colossal hits going in. They come away with that all-important victory.
Austin, your man of the match.
Well, as Ben said, resolute defence in their own 22, some amazing performances in the pack. Mitch Eadie put in a real hard work rate, as did Jordan Crane. Mathewson was